Bouyon. Ay, ay, ay. That's like a sauce, man. Hey, Pepe.
Let the rhythm inspire you at the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival 2026. Pure Jazz. Tuesday, May 5th, Grammy-winning Esperanza Spalding. Then on Thursday, May 7th, Branford Marcellus Quartet. May 6th, Kingdom Night. Gospel Powerhouse Ty Trebet. Ada AE. Then feel the rhythm at Caribbean Fusion. Friday, May 8th, featuring the original Wailers with Al Anderson. Skip Marley, Cast the Band. Imran Nerdy, Dexter Daps. World Beats. Saturday, May 9th, Afrobeat sensation Thames. Princess Lover, X-Man, Lou City, October 4, and Ella May. The Ultimate Celebration, Sunday, May 10th, featuring the legendary Billy Ocean. Beverly Knight, Mervyn Wilkinson, R&B icons Brandy and Monica. Online tickets available at stluciajazzandartsfestival.com.
Morne Doudon Jazz presents CALYPSO Cabaret on the Rooftop, Thursday, May 7 from 8 p.m. On stage, CALYPSO Monarchs TC Brown, Herb Black, Reigning King Desral, Linda Chocolate Berthia, Liam Happy Jabatiste, Junior CALYPSO runner-up Treasure, the return of the journalist and Super Sweet, and celebrating his Golden Jubilee, 50 years in Calypso, from Trinidad and Tobago, the Pink Panther, MC Izai Hall. Tickets cost $50 and are available at Steve's Barbershop. You pay more at the door. Park and ride from outside Central Library to Morne Doudon Jazz, CALYPSO Cabaret, Thursday, May 7 from 8 p.m. on the rooftop. The view is on the house. For more information, call 487-6614.
Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
On Saturday, May 30th, Brooklyn, get ready for a night you will not forget. As Dr. Ghost, the Empire Dawn presents reggae legend Dwayne Stevenson live in concert. Dwayne Stevenson. Sean B from St. Lucia. Alongside TD Bang. Doors open at 7 p.m. Showtime 10 p.m. sharp. And it's going down inside the St. Lucian House, 438 East 49th Street, between Church and Snyder. With music by DJ Bashi, Selector Akal, DJ Sci-Fi, DJ GQ, and Earthquake Sounds. Hosted by Jessica Movements. Brooklyn is going to be one memorable night. Performing live, Dwayne Stevenson. Tickets cost $70 in advance, $100 at the door. Ticket info, contact Moses on 347-701-6046. That's 347-701-6046. Sponsored by 106.3 FM, New York City. Lock in the date, Saturday, May 30th. Reggae legend Dwayne Stevenson live.
DJ Shows and Momo present Sunrise to Summer. Sunrise to Summer. Most anticipated event for the summer. It goes down Saturday, June 27th at Legends Place, 495 East and 95th Street. Get ready for the Total Destruction crew. DJ Kev, Top of the Line Family, DJ Young G, and the birthday boy coming through. The Simpler X, live on the record of Vinci. Tickets are only $20. You'll pay more at the door. With drinks on sale and food on the house. Saturday, June 27th, Sunrise to Summer. New York, get ready. This is gonna be a movie.
the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival 2026, the ultimate celebration, Sunday 10th May at Pigeon Island, featuring the legendary Billy Ocean. Billy Ocean. Beverly Knight, Mervyn Wilkinson, headlining the festival fresh off their world tour. R&B icons Brandy and Monica.
When I first saw you, I already knew. Angel of mine.
Online tickets available at stluciajazzandartsfestival.com.
Living on love, buying on time without somebody nothing. Living on love, buying on time without somebody nothing.
With all the wonders in the world, St. Lucia's only meant for me. So much history to be told and so much more for eyes to see. The colors, feel the love, I can tell you all the way. Proud of it, proud of it, proud of it, proud of it. It don't matter where I voyage, it don't matter where I roam. Majestic becomes stand.
Let the rhythm inspire you at the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival 2026. Pure Jazz. Tuesday, 5th May at the Pavilion in Rodney Bay. We lead with Grammy winner, virtuoso bassist and vocalist Esperanza Spalding. Esperanza Spalding.
Smile like that makes me smile like that now.
All the way from Trinidad and Tobago, Chantal Estelle and Moyenne, St. Lucian artists Camille Chalamine and Leandra Modeste. Then on Thursday, May 7th, experience the legendary Branford Marsalis Quartet. Also featuring Jesse Billy and Echoes. Online tickets available at stluciajazzandartsfestival.com.
I want to say a pleasant good evening to everybody. Welcome, of course, to our Bouyon talk show tonight. I'm happy, I'm smiling, I'm excited. You know, when you have an icon on your show and somebody you try so hard to emulate, you know, because that person is such a great presenter, announcer, you know, and I wanted tonight to really welcome this young man, you know, to the stage. You know, we were born the same month, just a few days apart. Well, a few years as well, but a few days apart. And I want to, he's a friend, a guy that I admire. I want to say good night, and I want to bring on Mr. Russell Lake to our Bouyon talk show. Good night to you, sir.
Bonsoir, bonsoir, monsieur. Bonsoir, good evening to one and all who are locked on to Watch Radio NYC. And don't go online and tell people only a few years difference. There's a wide gap in years, okay? I'm your senior by a lot of years.
Well, that is true. That is true. You're my senior. So, but yes.
I'm flattered, you know. Experience and youth have come together on the Bouyon talk show this evening.
I know, right? I say it's Watch Radio meeting Roof Tropics Media today. So although that's not what we're going to focus our attention on today, but it's kind of like something that has been in the making for a long time, right, Russell, to be on Bouyon, for me, vice versa, to be on your show as well. So thank you and good night for being here, my brother.
Well, you're very welcome. And on one of your trips to St. Lucia, because there have been a couple, I know that you've been busy, but I would love to have you in the studio of Roof Tropics Media soon, hopefully.
Well, I'm hoping when I come to St. Lucia, God willing, in July, that I will definitely make that trip, come to the Morne Doudon and come and chat with you, in your studio. So I definitely look forward to that conversation. Let us first welcome everybody who's here. I know people are excited because they see Russell Lake is going to be on Watch Radio, so a number of persons have already tuned in. I want to say, guys, please, if you do not say anything, we would not know that you're watching. So please feel free to share your comments. You could say hello, you could say hi to Russell. Chelsea, I see you. I want to say good night to you. Sabine, I see you as well. I want to say good night to you. So everybody who have joined us, please feel free to say hello. And then, of course, we can give you a big shout out. Yaz, I see you. I want to say good night to you. Yaz is here. Good night to you, Yasmin Anthony. I see you. So good night to you. Russell, pretty much so many people know you, but for the individuals who may be based in the US or wherever in the world that they are, because we are a global network, for the persons who probably don't know who Russell is, tell us a little bit about yourself. But one thing I want you to do, Russell, tell me something funny about you as well, man.
Boy, the way to my heart is through my belly. Let's start there. I like my food. Okay.
All right.
Well, to the listeners and the viewers, let me just say that Roof Tropics Media is an organically designed station. And if you're hearing the night sounds, there's no apology for that, because all the ambient sounds in the daytime, midday, nighttime, we welcome it, because our studio is open air, not contrived, no air conditioning, birds fly through, no kidding, lizards are walking around, you have all sorts of stuff going on. My family, we live on a 1.2 acre spread on the hillside, and we live within proximity to each other. So you might hear a dog bark, you might hear a car with some loud, that is all part of the organic experience on the rooftop. About me, boy, Peter, oh Lord, boy, I to shorten that thing, I was always a petit homme forcé. I was never shy. I love the limelight. I love to be different. I love the stage. I've been a teacher, model, choreographer, media man for 30 years. Into so much stuff, fashion designer right now as well. I have this from The Cloth, my friend Richard Young from Trinidad, The Cloth. As I said, it's evening time, and all of the activity to get ready here, I decided, Peter, give me a joke. I try to look sexy in a jokey way. Well, folks, I'll be drenched in sweat right now, because we had so much activity before this interview that this is the best that I could do. Pardon for my sleeveless, but we live in the Caribbean, right, Peter? This is the Caribbean, and people expect that kind of couture. Yeah?
For sure, man.
Yes.
Russell, you gave a whole list of some of the many hats that you wear or that you have worn as well. But tell us about that journey into media. How did that begin?
Boy, that is a story. My late aunt Teresa Hall, who was actually one of the Icon series last year, she was honored for the Jazz and Arts Festival. Helen Folk Dancers, she was the person who created that. As my aunt, being an impresario, the mango doesn't fall far from the tree. So we know all the shows that she used to do. I did lots of shows with her, for her, enjoyed those. While I was doing my fashion with my club cabaret, and then my mannequins image management. At the time, I was the entertainment manager of Sandals Halcyon. And I spent a few years there. I did a lot of different hotels, entertainment manager. And then Valerie Albert Fevrier, at the time Valerie Albert, used to always come to my show. Well, come to me because she was friends with Mahal. She would know I would be having an event. She would call me, Russell, we'll give you ads and everything, let us know. So she would have HDS give me free advertising in a barter. She would come in, film the shows I was doing, variety shows all over the island, and she would replay them on HDS as content for the station. So we had a very good rapport. And at the time, I was at Sandals Halcyon, and in comes Valerie Albert Fevrier to my office, sits down with me and tells me, Russell, all the years you've been doing all of this, but you know something? This is not your calling. I'm like, oh, you mean that's not, I'm entertainment manager of Sandals. I find high traveling, good money. She said, no. I said, what's my calling? She said, your talent has to be brought out to exponentially thousands more people. I said, how am I going to do that? She said, HTS is going to be launching a brand new radio station, and we want you to be an on-air presenter. I'm like, me a presenter? I said, I don't see that. She said, well, I see it. And she would not hear no, Peter. She was very persistent. And at the time, really and truly, I was contemplating, I had a $500,000 budget for the gym, for the lights and sound, DJs, equipment, all kind of stuff. And I was doing productions because I had been trained by Sandals and I had done a lot of shows. So I was doing a lot of stuff, and I felt that was it. But then I really and truly felt, I want my ability to be more out there. How could it be that way if I'm in a hotel? And she kept persisting, and bam, I resigned from Sandals and I joined HTS Radio 100. It's been 30 years.
Wow, wow. What a story, man. And sometimes people see us and we didn't even see ourselves there, but they saw that potential in us and identify it. And then, you
Correct.
gravitated towards that because that was really your true calling, brother. Leona Joseph, I want to say good night to you. Welcome to Watch Radio NYC. I see you, my friend. Good night to you. So, Russell, you 30 years now into the media business. Let's talk a little bit about Roof Tropics Media. And let's talk about what inspired you to start your own thing, to resign from the well-known radio stations out there and start your own business.
Well, Roof Tropics Media is, let's say, the latest, because along the way I have had several other adventurous pursuits, let's call them that. Some of which I could have persisted and continued, but I'm the kind of person, I love to know what's around the next corner, what's over that hill. I am never satisfied with just being where I am at. I think I could improve, I can extend, I could bring more people in. So while I have been at HCS Radio 100, remember as well that I was also MBC, Dr. McDowell. On my 50th, I always said at 50, I want to do something exciting. He was always after me. And then he offered me a very good package, which I left HDS and I upgraded MBC and I created Real FM, which did not exist. I named it, I got equipment, got the staff, launched it, joined the two just as I had known at Radio 100 HDS. And look at them now. Zafin Noah Setlisi began with me bringing in Jahim, and all of those things are things that I had done. At HTS, I was the ideas person. I was the one, you could ask any of the guys, Andre, you could ask any of the guys, Dr. Beat. When it was time to have the plans, the ideas for Valentine's, for Christmas, whatever, I would come in there and many of the ideas were team efforts, but some of them were mine. Some were mine. So they knew me to do that. And then as the years go by, Peter, you can see, hey, I can do that. If I can do it for HTS Radio 100, NBC Real FM, I can do it for myself. But checking the landscape, I did my due diligence. At the time, there were about 22, 23 radio stations. There are now 27 stations in St. Lucia, FM stations. And I'm like, I'm not going to put myself into this melee. So I traveled with a different eyesight. Remember, I came up to Watch Radio. Yadi was there as Peter.
Yeah.
Trained some of the staff there, did work with Watch Radio. Went to different stations, traveled all the time, England, America, Canada. And then I said to myself, Russell, you're going to have your own network, but make it diaspora oriented, because in my talking to all the people in all the places, they want to have a medium whereby they want to connect to St. Lucia. Now, it's true that they can just go online and view the different networks, but I figured let me have my own, which would be based on the diaspora, but also link the St. Lucians at home as well. Now, remember, all that is going on, I had built my rooftop, which is a 250-person capacity entertainment center. It's not a restaurant or a bar. When I have no activities, it is just how it is there, half closed in terms of half covered and half uncovered. And I built my studio right in here, resigned from HDS. And now it's been 4.5, going to be 5 years on August 23rd since Roof Tropics Media. It's going to be 5 years, imagine that. And I am very happy, very satisfied with my very small team. You keep hearing me say I, but my team. During this interview, I'll be talking about the people who make this happen. I say thank you to them every day.
Russell, let's go into the vision for the platform. And what is it that makes Roof Tropics Media different from all of the other stations out there?
Okay. First of all, Peter, when you come here, I would love you to have your go live. I've had many people who know you have sat on the couch. First of all, in my advertising of the events I say the view is on the house. Media houses, and I make one exception I know about is HDS, who built their HS Radio 100. They built it, they own the building. The vast majority of media houses on island in St. Lucia right now have leased or are renting a building which they have retrofitted for media. So they have the studios, they have the reception area, they have the news thing, they have all toilets. A security guard comes in, and in the evening time they lock up, they go home, and then they come back the next morning. So they have a building retrofitted. When I created again the rooftop, which was just a whole pile of rock and dirt on a slopy hill on our lake compound, I saw the vision of the entertainment center and of course the media house. So when I leave here now, Peter, in 45 seconds, I'm on my bed, literally. So I
Nice.
don't get stuck in traffic. I don't, go. I am literally on the compound. And so when you add the entertainment feature of the rooftop and the roof tropics media and the view, everybody who comes here, they have to walk up the 64 steps of Shaolin to get to the top. And when they're huffing and puffing, I tell them, take a look now. They say, it's worth it. Because seriously, you have to come here to see that view, which I am not putting too much out there as yet, because there's more to come in the very near future. So, first of all, the location, the ambience. We have, for example, we have a bird's nest about 15 feet away from me, which has a bird in it right now. Different birds. You have doves, you have the pipirites, all different birds come into that nest. They hatch the eggs, the hatchlings are around. And it is just something where lots of nature. We have fruit trees, we have dogs, we have cats. It is really a Mamai Lakai setting, which I invite into the shows. When the dog come and they come and lick my leg, whatever, I tell the people on the hey, I have Zorro next to me. Zorro, say hi. So I bring in, it's not contrived. Other media houses, you in a box, air conditioned, and you have to create, you have to, have a fantasy. Here, I invite everybody into what's going on. If I pause, there's one or two little dogs, they're barking. Somebody playing some music down the road here. It's coming in. That's the reality of Roof Topics Media.
Wow. So everything natural. That's the
That's
whole
natural.
vibe, the whole
Correct.
ambience that you get. Thank you
Correct.
for that, Russell, for sharing that. Let's say good night to Lisa Dublin. We see you. Want to say good night to you. Vanessa George, I see you. I remember telling to be on tonight, and you also thank you for that. Leona Joseph, good night. The big boss man is here. Felix Yard is online. Good night to you, sir. Sabina, we see you. We want to say good night to you. Russell, you've been in the business for 30 plus years, man. How has the media landscape changed, especially for Caribbean and diaspora platforms?
When I joined HTS, Linford Favrier, General Manager, CEO, had some groundbreaking accomplishments. Still on the compound of HTS is a huge dish. He has two huge dishes, and he was able to connect the Caribbean through that dish. Okay? That's before the advent of the internet and all of this, the ability of social media, etc. So it was groundbreaking. The technology was still analog, digital came later. And now, of course, you have internet. You have the ability, as long as you have access to an internet connection, you are a movie producer, you are a radio station, you are a TV station, you are a film producer. You can just talk into your phone and you can. The landscape, not only of media, of life in the world has changed. And so content creators, bloggers, influencers, all of these people are now causing radio and TV stations who did not think it was going to happen to shut down, to change their formatting. On the island right now, when there are events, even you're in New York, I see so many AI generated posters and flyers, etc. You need to hire me to put my voice on something. Now everybody knows, look at a poster, there is something, music in the background, it says everything. Radio stations no longer have people coming and paying them money for ads, TV stations as much as before, because people, once you have gotten the ability to put your content out there, then there's no need to pay that money. So everything is changing technologically. And if we don't innovate, then we're going to be the next casualty. So Caribbean-wise, everybody is locking into the fact that with one flip of your button, it is said that our cellular telephones have how many 100 times the computing power, this little cell phone here, than those Apollo missions that went up to the moon. With all of those big clunky computers, your handheld computer has more computing power, hundreds of times than that. So the world has changed, we are technologically advanced, and everything is moving forward in that way.
So true, my brother. So very true. You know, just today we are talking about some of the challenges as well and how things have evolved. So such a good point that you've made. Lisa Dublin just said, "Yep, good point. The landscape has changed. Has definitely changed." Russell, you know, you were speaking to us, telling us about you had your vision. It's your family property. You're on 1.2 acres of land. You know, you call it the lake compound. Tell us what are some of the challenges you face while building your brand, and how did you overcome some of those?
Okay, first of all, let me say goodnight to Lisa Dublin. Lisa and I hosted the first ever morning um, television program called Sunrise on HTS from 6 to 8 on Monday to Friday. So Lisa, good morning to you. She's there in Edmonton, in Alberta. Well, you know, I wanted to differentiate Russell Lake from other things I do. It would have been so easy, Peter and viewers, to call what I'm doing here Russell Lake Inc., which is, by the way, the handle I use for my Instagram account, and just brand my name into whatever I'm doing, and it'll be so easy. And people, I am very comfortable being known, being popular. When you meet me, you know, I'm saying the words here. I'm as humble as they get. You never find me my nose in the air. And, you know, Peter, you know that. I air on no
For sure,
airs
bro.
and no playing, no thing. I am me, as real as you get them. So in terms of building my brand, Peter, my brand to the people who know me does not need much more than letting them know what I'm up to now. Meaning, I get on the phone, I call people, many of them. Remember, I am now 64 years old. Okay, I'm 64, April 15th. So many people in positions of CEO, etc., grew up with me, or maybe even younger than me, and they have known me, the teacher, the media man, the fashion person, the person doing Carnival Queen shows, all of those things for all the years, a Nancy's Challenge, so many things. That on the phone, deals are done, and the paperwork is signed after. When I call whatever, it's like, can the budget allow it? Can they whatever? It is never something to say, well, it is always that. So that brand is there, and I try my utmost not to sully it. I try to keep to my word. I try to make my promises come to fruition, and I follow people with thank you calls, thank you messages. Challenges along the way. Thank God I have not had many of those because, first of all, Peter, I have seen when you have a landlord, when you have your rent to pay, when you have equipment with engineers, etc., it takes its toll. Not only that, in St. Lucia, without calling any names, we know those networks which have the lion's share of the market. What I go in there and try and be like those other? No, I have to build my own brand different. And so in doing so, I travel. I am called to MC. I'm called to be on a committee. I'm called to this, do that, do the other. And the beauty of this is that, as you know, technology, I simply have to bring my laptop and other accoutrements, and in 15 minutes I'm somewhere. This is Russell Lake broadcasting from Ottawa, Canada. Russell Lake from Connecticut. This is Russell Lake from Luton, England. Whatever. In 15 minutes. So, in embracing what is out there and becoming a part of it. Now, mind you, Peter, I have been a techno moron for many years before Roof Tropics. I had to learn the hard way because in the early days of Roof Tropics Media, 4.5 years ago, I had two young guys who I used to go up to Babano and pick them up at 5 o'clock every morning to drive down here, to have them in here, to start up the program with Mr. Hilary LaForce, who is my morning man, who I have to say, Mr. Hilary LaForce is a soldier. He's there Monday to Friday, every day of the week without fail, and I have a team around me. So when these guys were a bit fed up of that, they left. I have my other friend, Ozzy, who is my technical person. I had Zibi, technical person. But these people, life goes on in 4.5 years. They have jobs. They get promotions. Life goes on, and then now I am left with me doing a lot because look, I have a very small complement of staff. I have not had a salary in almost 5 years because I left a job with a monthly salary to do this. So it's tighten my belt, and when the money comes in, be very frugal with it, and then learn. Peter, without going too far, right now, you know, folks, an hour before this this thing here, Peter. I had a test run, and I was pulling wires, pushing wires. Before I would have had to have a technician or two here. I am doing everything here. So as the brand grows, as we become more liquid, as we have more sponsorship, more people seeing what's happening, I'll be able to have people on a payroll. And I am 64. I want to pass this over to people who can work with my vision, take it further the way I want it to go, and then be able to do other things. And that's going to happen in the very near future.
Thank you for that, Russell. And I can relate to what you're saying, man. We have to, sometimes the things you never thought you'd be doing, you find yourself doing. Because in order to be able to get the job done, you have to invest in yourself as well and get things done. Russell, let's talk a little bit about your passion for culture and music and all of that good stuff. You've been deeply involved in Caribbean culture. Why is it important for us to preserve to preserve and promote our music and traditions?
You see that word history, and I'll use the word Rastafari and even Ziggy Marley. His story, history. History was written by our conquerors, by our colonizers. And as a former teacher, but as an educator still, I can tell you, I have apologized so much to people who I just regurgitated what I was indoctrinated into. I mean, I've done my primary, secondary, tertiary, university, all of this, trusting what's in the books, trusting the different resource papers and different people works I have to read, etc. Only to find out that many of these things have been lies, fabrications, innuendo, derogatory things about us as a people. When I grew up, and I'm sure you as well, Peter, we were told we are the descendants of slaves, Kotea. We are the proud descendants of West Africans who were torn from the homeland and brought across the Middle Passage. Many of us died, and we populated, of course, America, the Caribbean, etc. And we have even in St. Lucia, the church excommunicated certain people, not wanting them to continue the rituals we had from our African days. The church, the Catholic Church at the time. Yeah. So it is important to know that what we are feeding from the trough of public education, public opinion, mass media, etc., many of these things are controlled by certain powers, okay, principalities, powers from way back when, and they still control under different guises. So these are the people who have those things. They are in control. What do we have control of? Ourselves, our history, our stories, our own, written through our eyes, through our experiences, and not in the books that I bought and I studied and I crammed and I have A in this one and B in that one, whatever, and regurgitating those things to people and just passing the same information, which is erroneous, it is wrong. So if you want your truth, if you want to know who you are, your traditions, if you want to be a person with that self-confidence and you have your head up, don't assimilate other people's cultures and think that, no, you should get to know where you are from. A tree without the roots, you know already, the wind going to blow you away. You got to know where you come from to know where you're going. So it is really important. Unfortunately, Peter, I have some bad news. Connie Marshall passed away, I think today, or I think sometime today. That the instrumental Estefan and all of these things with the saxophone and whatever, all of this music that we know so well, he passed away recently. How many people know about Connie Marshall and all the work he has done? When are we going to be teaching our heroes and heroines in St. Lucia? I'm happy that the Prime Minister says that there'll be Creole taught in the schools. It has begun already. There is a policy that's happening out here. And so much more. I am a student of history, but I have learned that much of the history that I studied at school was written by our by our captors, by the people who subjugated us into slavery, etc. And I tell you, I am rereading those things through writers, not the ones who are in the school books and the other public libraries, etc. I like to get to people who give the other side, the flip side of the coin.
You know, Russell, you've made a few very interesting points there. But let me ask, how do you see platforms like yours and, of course, Watch Radio NYC shaping our culture?
Okay, well, to begin with, Peter, I am here in St. Lucia. You are over there in New York. in the media landscape, which I joined 30 years ago, what's happening now wasn't happening then, and it's still, I'll explain to you what it is. The magic word for what platforms like ours can do, the magic word is collaboration. You see, in the world of television and radio of the past, it was, I have my little fiefdom here. You want to come in here and come and take away my advertisers, my sponsors, etc. You see, you move there, don't come here. Or I have my price for my ads at this here. You want to come and take over, and you bring your price of your ads down. And now we have a price war, tugging and pulling at each other. Why? In the music world, when you have stars who know that they can make some serious money, what do? They collaborate.
Yep.
When you have a song that seems to have died and a young artist takes it up, when a young artist takes that song and reworks it and remixes it, the old person who maybe did not even have maybe royalties, etc., can now do their tours, because as long as one of your old songs hits, now people want to know, who is this person? And then you have 20 songs of the past people didn't really hear about. You now become a star all over again. The magic word is collaboration. We must do more things together. I mean, Watch Radio is where my movement into the diaspora began. Peter, and you know that. I mean, Yadi is up there. Yadi and I spoke. You and I have spoken over the years. And what I wanted to do is what I'm doing right now. But we can continue collaborating. Watch Radio now is New York based, but you global, you St. Lucian global. Roof Tropics Media, the mantra is the diaspora bridge. And I mean, I can start calling names. I deal with the Diaspora Affairs Ambassador, Mr. Julian Dubois. Alva Baptiste, excellent minister. He knows what I'm doing. I had 2 meetings with the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre. He loves what I am doing. I can start calling names of those. My parliamentary representative who's coming to the show on Thursday, he told me, boy, he listens to Roof Tropics Media all the time. So the different associations all over, I'm always traveling to these parts of the world because they want more of what I'm doing here. So to answer your question once again, Peter, our platforms, we need to collaborate more, and both of us and others we can bring in will benefit from a network which is diaspora oriented.
You know, I like what you said there, because this is a conversation we had earlier in the week. So definitely more collaboration, definitely working together and making things happen. Don't forget, guys, you tune to, of course, Watch Radio NYC. And of course, this is the Bouyon Talk Show. My guest tonight is the owner, CEO, founder, everything, Roof Tropics Media, Mr. Russell Lake. We have to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, let us talk a little bit about CALYPSO, Cabaret, and of course, that is our main feature tonight, because I want to talk about that jazz vibe happening May 7th, Russell. I'm excited about it, although I'm not going to be in St. Lucia, but I am excited about it. So let's take a commercial break and we will be right back, guys. Please do not touch that dial.
Let the spirit move you at the St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival 2026. Praise, worship, Kingdom Night, Wednesday, May 6th at the Pigeon Island National Landmark. Experience high energy live gospel with Ty Tribbett. Ty Tribbett. Powerful voice of Ada A.E.
Congratulations, you're in the glory of God. Congratulations.
With local gospel acts Shirley Ann Cyril Myers, Nigella Sinclair Daniel, Steffi Ann Sinclair, Dr. Selma Sanpri, Arnold A.J. Jules, Dwayne Brown, at the James Sisters. Online tickets available at stluciajazzandartsfestival.com.
With all the wonders in the world, St. Lucia's only meant for me. So much history to be told and so much more for eyes to see. The colors feel the love, I can tell you all the way. Proud of it, proud of it. don't matter where I voyage, it don't matter where I roam. Majestic becomes stand.
The St. Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival 2026. Feel the rhythm at World Beats, Saturday, May 9th, Pigeon Island. Global Afrobeat sensation, Thames.
This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me love that you cannot
Thames.
And I need you in the morning, but I need you.
Princess Lover, X-Man, Lucity, October 4, and Ella May.
Feelings so deep.
Ella May.
You know that bartender, I pour a drink, a movie on to entertain. I'm down to do the little things.
Online tickets available at stluciajazzandartsfestival.com.
Morne Doudon Jazz presents CALYPSO Cabaret on the Rooftop, Thursday, May 7 from 8 p.m. On stage, CALYPSO monarchs DC Brown, Herb Black, reigning King Desral, Linda Chocolate Berthia, Nahum Happy Jean-Baptiste, Junior CALYPSO runner-up Treasure, the return of the journalist and Super Sweet, and celebrating his golden jubilee, 50 years in Calypso, from Trinidad and Tobago, the Pink Panther, MC Izai Hall. Tickets cost $50 and are available at Steve's Barbershop. You pay more at the door. Park and ride from outside Central Library to Morne Doudon Jazz, CALYPSO Cabaret, Thursday, May 7 from 8 p.m. on the rooftop. The view is on the house. For more information, call 487-6614.
Life is a cabaret, old chum. So come to the cabaret.
Thank you guys for staying tuned with us. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, of course, you're tuned to Watch Radio NYC, and I am with Mr. Russell Lake, Roof Tropics Media CEO, CFO, and all of the names, because this is a man with great vision and wisdom. So Russell, once again, man, I want to thank you for being on our show. Let's talk a little bit about CALYPSO Cabaret. Let's talk about it. Let's what is happening on Thursday, May 7th. Talk to us a little bit about that. What inspired this event, and what can persons expect to experience?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me here on Watch Radio, Peter. CALYPSO Cabaret, and it has taken a life of its own already in terms of, for example, yesterday we have Nahum Happy Jean-Baptiste, who is one of the most prolific and the most successful songwriters. He wrote those songs which won the crown for Ashanti and for Minel. He writes for many other people as well. He is the new host of my Rooftop CALYPSO Saturday, every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So last night, he was on the show. I was here with him. I'm not in the shot. I wasn't talking at all. I was just here because he's new to the console. And he called Herb Black. Herb Black was on the show talking about how he's looking forward to it and the concept about Calypso in jazz. He loves that. He spoke to also, it was two other people. I forget right now. But on the show, he was calling those people, and to hear them, they were very happy. I was also happy to see opening of jazz. There were about 7 or 8 of the Calypso, the real icons, singing for the opening of jazz. I see Herb Black, for example, was stripped with Tennyson John. You have the other community jazz events where you have Calypsonians and soca artists galore. Not only the soca, which is a young people thing, but the older people. People want to hear everything. So the CALYPSO Cabaret concept is one of Calypso during jazz, for the jazz aficionados, for the Calypso aficionados. I chose the 7th of May. It really was a toss-up because Roof Tropics Media also has the only continuous jazz program on St. Lucian Radio, which just ended a while ago. In fact, it's going to end at 8 o'clock with Peter Mullocks Murray, who is the host. He lives in Belize, the St. Lucian. He also hosted the very first jazz program at RSL many years ago. He's the host. For the past 4 years, we have this program every Sunday and repeat every Thursday. So I had this CALYPSO Cabaret concept, not new to the Rooftop. I have had events here called the Rooftop Comedy CALYPSO Tent, where I raise money for the Salvation Army. I normally fly over 3 Trinidadian vintage comedy calypsonians. I've done that for 3 years in a row. I also had events here called Calypso Construction. I was always intrigued. How does a calypso make its way from the inspiration by the calypsonian or the writer to the stage? And I had 2 events here where I had all of them. Mayhem Happy Jabatiste played the guitar and sang some of the songs that he wrote for Ashanti. Ruan Sion was there with Pep. They sang as well. Suku was here. I had Herb Black. All of these people came and they described how a song, from the time they have the thought, the idea, to the song going up to the finals, etc. They described the journey. I have done this. So the Calypso Cabaret, you heard the song by Liza Minnelli. How many people really and truly have been to a cabaret? A cabaret is ambience. A cabaret is tables, chairs. A cabaret is lights onto the stage with people who don't just sing 2 songs and go home. They want to talk. They want to bring the audience in. Say more than just sing a song and go home. So the Calypso Cabaret, I use the term cabaret, which is an international term. Calypso, I already have the confidence, thank goodness, and thank you to those calypsonians who believe in me and they always come up whenever I have them on an event. To come here, Linda Chocolate Berthia. Linda Chocolate Berthia, who is not going to be a calypsonian, she sang in the 10th and she made it to the finals. She's looking forward to performing here on stage. And then, of course, my very good friend, I brought him to St. Lucia about 5 times over the past years, Eric Pink Panther Taylor, is celebrating 50 years in Calypso. He has been toasted up and down the Caribbean and further afield for his 50 years in Calypso. And he keeps saying, Russell, the cherry on top is on the rooftop. So he is coming, so many hit songs, to be part of the show. And these St. Lucian Calypsonians are looking forward to once again taking the stage with him. So the cabaret concept will remain. So next year, with the improvements I'm doing to the rooftop, I'm building some really great toilets there. I'm building a kitchen, etc. So by next year's jazz, there will be the real cabaret setting. Let me just say now to the people coming here on Thursday, you can be on a construction site. Seriously. Because galvanized there, cement there, this and that, and the fellas really push work. We're going to have the toilets not completed. They'll have flushing toilets, but not the way I wanted to embellish it for the show. It will happen when we have our 5th birthday, August 23rd. We're going to have a weekend of activities. And I'm also spending that 5th birthday. Rooftop is coming to New York and to 2 parts of Canada. I am not at liberty to say where as yet. So, yes, the cabaret is come in and let's commune. Let's, Mamai Lakai, Izai Hall, my cousin will be there. Pink Panther, we have, as you heard on the ad, all the other people are going to be there. It will be a fun night.
Thank you. And one of my questions I was about to ask you is this going to be a one-time event? But then you just said it's going to be a yearly thing and it's going to be bigger and better. It's going to be amazing. Next year is going to be amazing because you're already planning for next year, which is a good thing. So Russell, what kind of audience are you hoping to attract and are you hoping to receive on that day?
Well, the Calypso tent is a place that not everybody goes. Calypso is a niche, and the aficionados who have been here, there are some people who do not miss a Calypso event on the rooftop. So I hope to attract those tent pines, people who are regulars. I have friends of mine who are on the island for jazz. I was at the opening of jazz and I had about 5 or 6 of my partners from St. Mary's College. They all tell me they're coming. They tell me what they want to drink, make sure I have that drink this here. So in terms of the audience, I expect the usual suspects, but I also expect certain people who will be curious about the rooftop, curious about what Rooftop Media is about. But while we are here, let me just say a big thank you. Among the people who I want to say a big thank you to is Jacinta James of Barbie Limited of St. Lucia Distillers. This lady does not say no. And sometimes, Peter, when you have somebody and you just don't go because you consider you don't want to go too often, as if that's what I am. I have to hold myself back from going. And one of the people who has promised to come, I met him on Friday at my friend Arthur Charles's retirement party, is our parliamentary representative, Stevenson King, will be in attendance. Cashways North is his constituency. He has Caroline Jazz. It's postponed to the end of this month. So he'll be coming to Morne Doudon Jazz, Calypso Cabaret. Yes.
Nice. That's really good, man. Nice to hear. Let me ask you, Russell, why do you think it's important to create these types of events during the jazz season?
Well, number one, it's a global audience. Let me just say, as I'm here, let me thank the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. So, in our 4th year, we were invited to the media launch, and we have our certificate where we are partners with the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. This is a big leap for us as Roof Tropics Media. We have a huge look. We don't have a huge fan base as in terms of numbers, but the love for what we are doing is really out there, and we're happy for that. But to your question, regarding the importance, you said the importance of having these events during jazz.
Yeah.
It is a global audience. I have seen our carnival promoted during jazz. Very good. I have been mainstay at the Virgin Island National Landmark. It stopped for a couple of years now, and I was happy to see costumed revelers walking through the audience. You have a side stage where you have the carnival vibe, which starts off. The only issue I have is that as soon as Mother's Day ends the jazz, it is carnival, calypso and carnival, and the jazz just gets put to bed until the next year. I must say quite boastfully, but realistically, Roof Tropics Media has seen that there should not be any gap. We play jazz music with Peter Mullock's Morris Show every week for the past 4.5 years. So the importance of this is showcasing what St. Lucia is all about, in addition to all what Arts in the City, all of the... and look, let me tell you, I was the host with Tracy George for the Icon series, Chef Harry. You know, there are so many plays, etc. So it is so very important. The Calypsos for this year will be on that stage. I'm hoping that we can get somebody from outside of St. Lucia, because Lucia is what we have happening here, to come here and to realize, but hey, this is a proud people. They've put their calypsos during jazz. So anybody who doesn't know what a calypso tent or whatever, or a calypso setting is, they can come and get that. So then you have this, Peter, you have every aspect of St. Lucian culture on display. The calypso, the carnival season begins the following week, but the calypsos begin a week before, because next week, the following week will be the first tent with the South Calypso tent. They open the season, but no, Calypso Cabaret opened the season with past Calypsos.
Oh, I love that. Russell, I'll let you answer that question. Ignatius did ask, where is the Roof Tropics Media? He's asking where, and I'll let you answer.
First of all, thank you. You can access us, first of all, www.roof. It really is the roof of my house. I dug into a mountainside and I have this RWFTROPIXX, Roof Tropics. And the teacher in me, we're on the roof of my house and we live in the tropics. Not the Caribbean, in the Caribbean, the tropics. And I put 2 X's at the end to make it, to make it young. So it's www.rooftropics.com. Situated just one corner above the Morne Doudon School. That is your landmark, the Morne Doudon School. If you're coming from Castries or from La Pensée, it's a corner above. If you're coming from the top, meaning from Agad going down, it is just before the corner for the Morne Doudon School. On, again, each of us, the Lake siblings, we all have our own portion of land, and we are within close proximity of each other as a family. We all live as a family should. And Peter and the viewers and listeners, if we didn't cooperate so very well and I get the full support of my family, you cannot have... Peter, what are the chances of having 6 siblings living within an acre, 1.2 acre spread, one of whom has what we will say a Kaida entertainment spot, loud music till 2-3 in the morning?
Yeah.
It is because we love each other, we collaborate, we cooperate, and they can see Diana Kaida say I have there. The sort of people and the sort of things that we do here. We have a Christmas party for the kids look, I can just keep talking about what we do here.
Yeah.
Watch Radio, I know you all do a lot of things. You all send down stuff when we have, people who are impacted for so many years. I've seen Yadi pick up his community award for what he has done for the community, what radio has done. You all know about 10 years now, 10, 12 years now. We're only going to be 5 years soon.
Yeah.
So we know what we need to do to bring communities together. We need to put our hands out and ask, how can we bring this to you? I have a very good rapport with the principal of the Morne Doudon school. We always bring the children up here and we go down, we give them laptops, we give them all kind of stuff. So we are a real community. So Morne Doudon, the hill which overlooks Castries, St. Lucia, the rooftop and Rooftop X Media are nestled right here on that hill.
Russell, let's talk a little bit about, I know our time is running out, but let's talk a little bit about our culture, Caribbean culture. And do you think that we as a people are doing enough to promote our own culture? Or do you think we wait for outsiders to validate us before we can actually put our culture and say, yes, we're this and we're that?
Peter, I like your follow-up to the first question regarding outsiders. I must put something in here to make us understand how we do not value enough what is ours. Zots have Trinidad and Tobago much a ped intellectual property rights who still pan you. Trinidad and Tobago did not register that they created the steel pan, and they had to fight to get the ownership of that intellectual property because they feel, that's our thing, that's we think. Other people will go and check out the books and see, have they patented it? Have they put it have they put it out there? Whatever you have, somebody going to try and steal it from you. And I have some news for you all out there. And don't believe me, Google it or investigate what I'm going to say right now. Not calling any names. I can't say who. There's a gentleman of St. Lucian parentage who was born in America, but he comes here every now and then. And he is a goodwill ambassador. What's his name? The commissioner? Anyway, he is the person who produced the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That multi-Grammy winning album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And in talking to me a few years ago, he said to me, as a St. Lucian American, he was researching certain music for him to do some work with. And the man told me he got some music, cultural music, St. Lucian music. And when he researched to see, well, because he wants to make sure that he gets permission. You know who owned that? Not us, the Smithsonian Institute. Our intellectual property, certain rhythms, isn't owned by us, ours. So another entity took it, and they are legally the owners of that. Now, I give you two. There are more examples, but let me stop at two.
Oh, crazy.
If you can see other people see value in what you have, you can see value in what you have. Let me tell you something. We have decried our children and our women for whining as a derogatory thing to do. Say a Meritia boy, twerk. Can you twerk? And everybody's a big joke. Sure, they can whine, twerk. But in St. Lucia, it's like nasty. That's bad. Don't do that. The children can, the movement of the waist. Why do we put these negative connotations to that? So I will just say, without making it too much more broad, the examples I have brought to show you what is our daily life, what we do without even thinking. You never see a little child, 1 to 3 years, music playing Peter, and the children there, women, and I love to see that. It's like, where they get that? It is in their veins, in their blood. So people, if other people can take the value of what we have and put it on a pedestal, that's to show you what we have is priceless. Protect it, celebrate it, perpetuate it down through the ages.
Thank you for that, Russell. Once again, man, it's always, an hour runs so quickly when the two of us start engaging in conversation. It's just crazy. But once again, I want to thank you, Russell, for being on the Bouyon Talk Show. Before we leave, all good things must come to an end, and so must Bouyon. But before we go, I want to give you the final word.
Well, the folks watch radio Big up Yadi, big up the man Peter D, and all of the staff who have made it come along all the years here. I want to say a special shout out to Mr. Jeremiah Hyacinth, the CG. Hope he's looking, and all of the folks who have supported me in all parts of the world. Roof Tropics Media is indeed working towards being the serious diaspora bridge that I envisioned it to be. And so when you all see me going to different parts of the world, just know it is because I see there's a void, and this medium, hopefully collaborating with entities like Watch Radio, that we can bring more of what we do to the masses. In those countries, you all are minority. We are majority in our country. And I'm happy to see that when I'm here, I can relate to everybody who's here, because they can be me, I can be them. Y'all in the diaspora need to push your culture even more to those people. Let them know who y'all are. And this medium, looking forward to bring. Let us show them the Nobel laureates, the Juju. Let us show them the table tennis champions of the region. I could keep talking, you know. We are champions, we are strong, we are resilient, we are world class. Let's act that way, and let's show them what we got.
Thank you so much for Russell. Once again, I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. Again, it has been a pleasure talking to you, Russell. Don't forget, we're back next Sunday with Mother's Day celebration, celebrating our mothers. Nisa said, nice to see you again. Well, nice to see you, Russell, and it's nice to see you, Peter D. So nice hearing and seeing you join our show. Thank you for that. Once again, I want to thank everybody. I want to say good night, Russell. Good night. And once again, brother, thank you for being here. I promise the next time I'm in St. Lucia, I will be at Roof Tropics Media. All right, brother, that's a promise. All right, take care. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.